We're living, though, in a time where there's an increasing dilemma and paradox that's going on among us. So, we are living in a time where we are more connected than ever before, right? Why and how? Because of this thing, because of our phone, right? We are connected more than ever before, but we're becoming increasingly disconnected relationally, and we're suffering and longing for it. Another really good book I've been reading lately is this book titled Reclaiming Conversation, The Power of Talk in a Digital Age by Sherry Turkle. I want to read to you what she says. She says, these days we want to be with each other, but also elsewhere, connected to wherever else we want to be, because what we value most is control over where we put our attention. Our manners have evolved to accommodate our new priorities. When you're out to dinner with friends, you can't assume that you have their undivided attention. Cameron, a college junior in New Hampshire, says that when his friends have dinner, and he says, I hate this, everyone puts their phone next to them when they eat, and then they're always checking them. Keeping talking light when phones are on the landscape has become a new social grace. Studies show that even the mere presence of a phone on the table, even a phone turned off, changes what people talk about. If we think we might be interrupted, we keep conversations light on topics of little controversy or consequence. Why does the presence of digital communication end up making us feel less connected to each other? In short, online communication makes us feel more in charge of our time and self-presentation. If we text rather than talk, we can have each other in amounts that we can control. And texting and emailing and posting lets us present the self we want to be, and we can edit and retouch it. But human relationships are rich, messy, and demanding. When we clean them up with technology, we end up with lives of less. Studies show that when children hear less adult talk, they talk less. If we turn toward our phones and away from our children, we will start them off with a deficit of which they will be unaware. We must remember who we are, creatures of history, of deep psychology, of complex relationships, of conversations artless, risky, and face-to-face. So helpful. That's good. She's not even a Christian that I know of. Interestingly, one of the things that she suggests as a helpful corrective to this growing phenomenon among us is to have dinner. Have dinner with people, actually have a meal, and to have it without the phones. She was telling about a group that she's a college professor and been sharing this, and so every time they go out to have a meal together at a restaurant, they all put all of their phones in the middle of the table, and then if anybody picks up their phones to check it before the meal is over, they have to pay the entire bill. Good idea. At our home, we don't allow phones at the table or the TV on, any of that. We eat dinner together as a family pretty much every night at 6 p.m. Studies show that 40% of American families regularly eat dinner together, only 40%. And on the flip side, kids who do eat dinner regularly with their parents and their family, they have an 80% higher chance of getting good grades in school, of avoiding substance abuse, and getting involved in premarital sex. Just saying. Have dinner. We're relational beings. We're designed to be connected relationally. First and foremost, relationally connected with God. And a close second, relationally connected with one another, with family and with friends. And a meal is just something God has designed as a place for that to take place, for real conversation to take place. Some of you need to have a conversation with God. Maybe because you've never had it. Maybe it's just been a long time. Some of you kind of probably need to have a conversation with another person about God so that they can help you have that conversation with God. Some of you really need to have a real conversation with someone where you really get past the surface and you get to what's really going on and who they really are. I mean, we have so easily just fake surface relationships. I'll tell you what, if you're in a relationship with with somebody and you've never, and you like even consider them like a close friend, and you've never actually heard their story, like their life story, and you never shared yours, but I gotta tell you, your relationship is really shallow, kind of like a fake relationship. Um, Jesus wants us to have real relationship with each other, and he reveals himself so often through conversations that are in conjunction with a meal. So have a meal, and don't just talk. Have real conversation. Don't just text. Get together face to face. Meals end up being huge. Meals matter a lot, and God can do great things in and through a meal.